Right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Marcus Higgs with Verbling.com. We are here having comfortable conversations. Excuse me. Um, Come and join. We'll be here ready to talk. Seth, I'm going to put your microphone on mute until you're ready to speak. It's because there's noise. Yeah. Cheers.
Sorry.
Nah, no worries, no worries. No problem, no problem. All right. Today we are going to be speaking about languages. We're going to be speaking about languages, and we're going to have conversation that a student will make a statement, and then you will say if you agree or disagree with that statement. All right. And our topic will be about languages. Now, Ampy, can you please teach me how to send a private message?
I just send you a private message and I explain how to do it. Just
I
slash.
ah,
Yeah, good
thank you.
students.
Thank you. We are all here to learn. We are all here to learn. All right. Um, mm, mm. Let us start with our introductions, and then we'll get to talking. All right. For our introductions today, see my foot. I want you to say your name and your city or country where you are. And the third thing is, how many languages do you speak? How many languages do you speak? I'll go first and give you an example. My name is Lucas. Right now I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I speak one language. It is the language of love. All right, I speak. Okay, nobody laughed. I guess that was not funny. English is my native language. I speak Korean, some Korean. Not some Korean. I think my Korean is better than my Spanish at the moment, and I speak Spanish, and hopefully I will speak Spanish better. And then I know a lot of small words in a lot of languages. That is it. Only English, Spanish, and Korean. All right? Please, Ampero, can you go?
My name is Amparo. I'm from Ecuador, and my native language is Spanish, and I'm trying to learn English.
Okay. All right, Ampero. Thank you. Very good. Seth.
Hi, my name is Seth. I am from Mexico. I am speaking Spanish, but I try to learn English.
Okay. All right. Very good. Nice to meet you. Good to see you, Seth.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks.
All right. All right. Let's go with our friend all the way out in Qatar. That'd be you, Asma. Sorry.
Yeah, my name is Asma. I'm from Tunisia, and I speak Arabic, my native language, and French, and I speak English. I will not say like I am trying to learn English. If we can handle any situation, so it's okay. We have to be proud of ourselves, and
Bellissimo. All right. Very good. Yes, you are speaking English, and you speak English, and you will get better. All right. Thank you, Asma. Asma, your native language is French, or is it Arabic?
Arabic. Yeah, but the second language is French.
Was your schooling in French or in Arabic?
The most of them is French.
Okay, but they speak Arabic at home, but French in school.
No. We speak means we learn Arabic and French, but when you are specialized in any subject, most of courses expect means the Arabic is in French. We take lessons in French. Even then, you means you want to specialize in art means in Arabic, for example, as a linguistic.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. All right. All right. Let's go with Misael.
Well, I am Misael Filho, I'm from Brazil, and I can speak English and Portuguese. A little bit of Portuguese,
A little bit.
because Portuguese is too difficult.
Yeah. Misael, you know what is funny? When I was in Brazil, the one phrase I learned first was "No falo português," but
Cool.
because I look, people would come to me and talk to me for like 5 minutes, and I would tell them I don't speak Portuguese, and then they say, "No, that is Portuguese," and they would continue speaking to me.
The, the people in Brazil don't speak English too much. There are not a lot of people speaking English, and sometimes they just think that if they speak slowly or with some accent, you couldn't stand them.
And I'm like, I still do not understand you. Why are you continuing to
Yeah,
talk to me?
and
Hey, all
sometimes
right.
louder. They just talk louder and think you are going to understand.
Yeah. All right, all right. Uh, thank you for that, Ms. L. Maui, uh, did you put off doing the dishes or did you do the dishes?
Mm. Chicken, rice, beans. Yes,
Mauri,
I just yeah.
did you
Sorry.
put off doing the dishes or did you do the dishes?
No, I. How can I say? I I bought my dishes. Yes, that's
No, no,
an.
no, no. You remember we studied put off. So put off means to
Uh,
delay. And if I say do the
oh
dishes, I mean
yeah.
washing the dishes. So did you wash your dishes or did you put it off?
No, I put it off.
Okay.
I put it off.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Amaury. I'm from Brazil. I've been living in Mexico uh, like 3, 4 years. I can speak Portuguese, Spanish, a little Italian, and I am trying to speak English.
Oh,
That's it.
which is better, your English or your Italian?
I think my English is better. I can understand a lot of things that for example, read a book in Italian, something like that. I can sing some music. I can talk a basic Italian because my grandmother is from Italian.
Ah, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Good to see you here, Amaury.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Rusio. Ruthio, it depends on where you're from. Rusio, please.
Hi, hi
Hello.
everyone. Um, I'm Mexican, but currently I am living in Austin, Texas, and just a couple of months ago, and I tried to speak English to learn English.
All right. So you only speak Spanish and not only, but you speak Spanish and English?
Yes. Mhm.
There are parts of Texas where you do not need to speak English.
Yeah, it's amazing, but it's a little weird. I I am a really it for me it was a surprise uh, and realize that it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Texas was a part of Mexico. What? Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Rocio. Good to see you here. And we will go to Julio, who will tell us about Mexico and Texas. Julio,
What's up?
the weather. That's what's up. So tell us your name, where you're from, and how and what languages do you speak?
My name is Julio. I'm Mexican. I speak Spanish, English, a little bit of Italian, a little bit of Japanese, and that's it.
Oh, why did you start to study Japanese?
Because I was into martial arts when I was a teenager, I was practicing several Japanese martial arts, so I kind of got interested in the language. And since I had some senseis that were Japanese, so I started practicing with them. It's very interesting.
Okay, that's interesting. And I'm assuming judo because I mean that's for Japanese, or they're different.
Well, actually, I studied Kendo, which is
Kendo.
not it's not very known because
Hmm.
it's like well in Japan that's considered like the main what can we say like
Sport.
the most traditional Japanese martial art because it comes from the samurais. The way Kendo it's a way of fencing, but
Mm.
it's fencing with a katana, and it's with the in the same way that samurais used to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that about you. All right. All right. Very good. Good to see you here, Julio.
Nice to see you too.
Okay, we have Seth.
Yes.
Please say your name, where you're from, and what languages you speak. I don't know if you heard me. Say your name, where you're from, and what languages you speak. Or maybe, okay, Kako, can you please introduce yourself? Class, can you hear me?
I can
Yes,
hear you.
teacher.
All right,
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Kako, please go.
Yes.
I am Caco. I live in Rio de Janeiro, and I am trying to learn English and Spanish.
All right. And you speak
My native language is Portuguese.
Portuguese, Portuguese. Oh, we always say, I say about Spanish in America, English in America, in the Americas, and Portuguese in America. In Europe, they made the language, but in the Americas, we made the language fun. Portuguese in Brazil, always, I think, sounds better than Portuguese. I'm not going to say that. Maybe they will be offended. But that is how I feel. In the Americas, the way we speak the language, we have more life, more soul, more rhythm. I don't know if you agree with me or not. Yeah, do you agree with me?
I don't.
You don't. Do you prefer the Spanish from Spain?
I think there are two different cultures, American English, British English. Both of them have
Well,
very
no,
nice
Spanish.
slang.
You speak Spanish natively.
Yeah, but I'm making the analogy with all the other languages, like British and American English. Both are very interesting, like Spanish, like European Spanish and the American or the American Spanish. Both are interesting. There's no one better than the other. Both are great languages with great idioms and phrases and expressions.
Okay, all right. I have an opinion to that, but Ms. Ms. Io, what do you have to say? Because you agreed. Thank you for sharing, Julio.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I think the Brazilian Portuguese is sounds better than Portuguese. from Portugal.
In which way?
As you said, it's like more musical. It's more fluid. Like uh, Portuguese from Portugal is like there's more stops. Like it's not too fluid. It's not too natural. I think. And
Okay.
they are so how can I say? Uh, what you say is just what you say. Like they don't. Uh, they are so factual. What you say that
Who,
is
Brazilians or Portuguese?
Portuguese from Portugal. They have for example, if you say it is raining cats and dogs, they are going to look for cats and dogs. So if you, they not they are not used to think outside the box. That like
They're
they
very
just
literal.
yeah, literal. Yes,
Very
there's the
literal.
word I was looking for. They are so literal.
Hmm. Okay. How I feel about English in America and in Britain, um, it reflects our cultures. It reflects our cultures. In Britain, they are very proper and very conservative. But the English from America, I feel it is more loose. It is more expressive. And actually, if you're in Britain looking at Americans, they think that we're very loud, and we're very out there. We're too much.
Pushy.
Pushy. Pushy usually means like more aggressive. But yeah, maybe pushy. Yeah, maybe pushy. Right? Or you could say we're over the top. We're too expressive. But
I was quoting an American British friend that I have, and you say Americans are loud and pushy, and they are all over themselves.
Oh, in a bit, I agree with him. But if we're looking at how we use the language, and you're right in that, everybody has their own culture and their own expression. I respect all languages because we're all humans and language is just what we use. But I like how expressive American English is. And that's just because I like that personality type, that culture.
I just have something to say.
All right, Julio, I am going to let you say that. I just want to see if anybody else has any ideas when they compare their language back to the European one.
I was just
Yampiro,
gonna
Amali.
say,
Oh, okay, go for
bo
it, Julio. Go for it.
bollocks.
Bollocks. Cheers. Cheers for that. All right, anybody else? Any other ideas?
Can you repeat the question, teacher?
Comparing, most of you are from South America or North America, so you have a counterpart for your language in Europe. There's actually French from France and then Montreal French, or actually even French from France and French from Maghreb, from North Africa.
Like Brazil
How
and Portugal?
like Brazil and Portugal, Latin America and Spain. How do you think your language how do you think your language compares to the mother country, if you will, or the or original country?
It's a difficult question.
I'm just asking, how do you think it compares? Do you think it sounds better? Do you think it's more expressive? Do you think
I think the Portuguese in Brazil is more slowly than in Portugal. I think some words is there are different meanings than Brazil. Yeah, I don't know. The way that people from Portugal speak, it's different. It's very quickly for me, I think. I can understand
they speak very quickly?
everything. Yeah, I think they speak more quickly than us in Brazil.
They speak quicker in Brazil.
No, in Portugal. Sorry.
Hmm. Okay.
In Brazil, it's slowly. If you compare
Slower.
both, yeah. For example, in Spain, they have a different accent from Mexico, from Peru, from Argentina. It's different, the pronunciation in Europa, I think.
Oh yes, no, most definitely it is different. It is different. Okay. Any other ideas? Anything someone wants to share?
In my opinion, the English, American English, is more funny than British English. But this situation, I think, is a reflex of history changes in the community, in the social sociality. Like the other language, like Spanish, the Latin American Spanish is so different than Spanish of Spain. It's very difficult understand other slangs in Latin America countries when you travel and try to understand particular words that only use in this region or on this country. But this is our world.
A war?
Or word,
Oh, word.
word.
Okay. Seth, I didn't get where you're from.
I am from Mexico City.
You're from Mexico City. Okay, cool. No, I'm laughing at what Misael said. Class, remember, when we're comparing two things, we use the comparative adjective, so it's usually ER at the end of it, if it is a shorter word, or it is more, usually if it has 3 syllables, like beautiful, more beautiful. We cannot say more and ER, okay? So it's easier. We don't say more easier. Just it's easier.
I've heard some natives making that mistake though.
Yeah. Yeah. Natives make mistakes also. Remember that. All right. Asma, is there anything you want to say about in regards to French, or no?
Yeah, I don't know what is the question.
The French you learned compared to the French spoken in France. How would you compare it?
Okay. Okay, I think that how can I say? French people make a lot of mistakes in dictation. They are terrible in dictation, and I think the person who wants to learn French, it is he can master the language. He can master the grammar. Maybe more efficient than the French people, I said, or
Really?
yeah, believe me.
No, that is your opinion. I have nothing to say to that.
It's
We,
it's
we have
my
a friend
opinion.
from Quebec who just entered. Continue, sorry.
But okay, and the accent, I don't know. Means it depends on the person if he really can speak the same accent. But I think that there are some countries um, in Africa, like I think in Japan, or they have some special accent different than French people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, and I don't know. Means this I took or I am influenced by this opinion from my brother because my brother lives in France and he told me that French people have really a big issue with their dictation.
Okay. Now let's remember also, we can't just, we're generalizing. We can, but we're generalizing. And there
Yeah,
are many different types and many different groups within a country also. Like if you go to America, yes, there's a way we use the language, but then there are also subgroups or subcategories. There are people
no,
from
no.
regions, okay?
That means we didn't talk about the people who really, that means they are not interested. Means I talk about people with high
Educated
qualification.
people. Educated.
Yeah, yeah, educated. Yeah, well educated. Yeah, and for example, when he passed the exam, it means he passed the exam with, or he take the exam. He took, my brother took the exam with another French Frenchman, and the difference is in when they writing. You know, in the writing. My brother succeed because his writing is good or is better than the French. Uh, then I don't know another one who apply for the job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big issue, and I learned about it. Means there are some articles that means talk about this really it's really an issue, or it's really something that parents suffer from it. From
Okay.
it.
Interesting. I'll read up on it. Um, let's move on in the conversation. It seems very interesting, and I'm glad we have another French speaker here. Hello, Andre.
Hello.
Hello. All right, Ampy, I sent you a message. Can you please read your message? Everybody, please listen to what Ampy has to say. And Ampy, give us your opinion, and then we'll say if we agree with it or not. Not your opinion, but with your statement. If we agree with their statement or not.
Okay, everybody should speak at least two languages.
All right, can you say it again, please?
Everybody should speak at least two languages.
What are your thoughts on that, Ampero?
I agree. I think that it's very important to to know another language, and I think that English is one of the most important to know because wherever you can go, you can find someone that he is speaking English, or the signs also at the airports or in the streets, you can find it in English there. So that is why I think it's right.
Okay. Are there any other opinions in the class?
Yes, teacher. I think to speak two languages can give you an opportunity to get a good job, to improve I don't know your skills. I think you can catch another others ideas from other cultures. For example, in Brazil, we just speak Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for people speaking Spanish sometimes, speaking English, speaking others language. So if you have a second language, you can get a good job. You can get I don't know. You have more knowledge than others people over there, in my opinion. So it's a differential. It's a differential.
It's, it makes a difference.
It makes a difference. Yes,
It
that's it.
makes a difference.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, Miss Ellis. Excuse me.
Or
Misael?
There is some studies that show that someone who speak at least two languages, develop some areas in the brain and are smarter and something like that. So it is not just uh, to be communicative with the word, but it makes you smarter too.
Okay. We have another reason. It helps develop the brain. Any other thoughts?
It's necessary. Of Canada, it's obligation to speak two language because you have to speak English and French.
Mm-hmm.
For to work on government, it's necessary to speak English and French. And
Mm-hmm.
Canada, my cousin work around the Parliament of Ottawa. She work for minister. It's necessary. Everybody work on the government and speak French and English.
Okay.
But you have a lot of people and company in Montreal speak two language.
Now, I understand that is for Canada. Most people speak two languages, or many people in French. In France, hold on, pause. Many people in Canada speak two languages, and most people in Quebec speak two languages. But I'm talking about the world, everybody. What is your
Okay.
opinion? Everybody should learn at least two languages? Do you agree or disagree?
I think is good for to speak two language or French and English or Spanish. Is good for to work and the work
Mm-hmm.
because you have more people and company and company. I suppose, and you work in the China. It's necessary to communicate with another country. You speak, and I think is language and English is necessary for administration. Is
Okay.
language administration. I think so.
So, the language of business, yes,
Yeah, the language is business
of business.
and the world.
And the world. Interesting. So our reasons here we have to travel, for employment, for developing the brain, for business. These are all reasons we should learn two, or you feel we should learn two languages. Are there any other reasons you can think of?
Well, for some trip,
Ampero mentioned traveling. Yes.
yeah, traveling.
Very good, Andre. Any other reasons we can think of to, or why? Because we're all here studying another language. So I think we all think we should.
Even I read recently about healthy.
Healthy?
I read an article about, and I don't remember what university, but they did some um, analysis about, and they conclude that it's healthy for the brain and prevent the Alzheimer. Um, so it's even good for 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 a good health. Yeah.
Preventing Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's, yeah.
Okay.
No, not okay. Is that what you said? I'm asking for clarification. To prevent Alzheimer's?
Yes, prevent Alzheimer. Yeah.
Okay. For developing the brain. That's what he said. I would say similar to what
Wait, wait.
Coco said.
So,
All right,
hear
go.
me out. Hear me out before you cast your opinion. Okay.
Oh, my
Uh,
opinion is already cast, but I have not said it
okay.
yet. Go for it. Go for it.
Well, on the other hand, I think that nowadays with technology, it has become less necessary to learn another language, thanks to many translating softwares that are out there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's quite impressive. The other day, I was checking out a software where you can take a picture of any book or magazine or any sign in any language, and then the software would automatically translate everything that's written into the language that you speak.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of technology was not available a long time ago, 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's being developed so fast that I can help thinking that very soon we're going to have like an earpiece that you're going to be able to use, and it's going to translate whatever you hear immediately into another language.
Like Star Trek.
Yeah, it's happening. I mean, I was the other day talking with this girl, a friend of mine, and her boyfriend is American, and she speaks no English at all. But they communicate, but when they see each other, they use Google Translator. So she would say like, "Hola, mi amor, ¿cómo estás?" And the translator would immediately translate it to him and say, "Hi, honey, how are you?" And then he's going to say like, "I'm fine, thanks, and you?" And "Estoy bien, ¿y tú cómo estás?" So, I mean, it's happening now. It's happening, and in a couple of years, you're not even gonna need that. You're gonna have like an earpiece, and everything is going to be done in milliseconds, right? So,
If you look up a video, there's a video of, I think it was Google also. They're working on the technology of speech to text translation instantaneously. So he was speaking at this event, at this conference he was speaking, and it was automatically translating it into Chinese. And it was impressive because the Chinese people said, it's clear, it makes sense. Now, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Julio. And I'm going to touch on what Amaury said. Now, this is why I think you should learn languages. Yes, of course, I think you should learn other languages, but language is built on culture. And if you want to, life is about experiencing things and understanding what is around us and the experience of this life. When you learn another language, you learn a different perspective. You learn how a different man sees life, or a different woman or man sees life. When you learn Japanese, you have to learn the different, the hierarchy, the honorific levels, how you speak to one person, how you speak to another. Even when you're learning Spanish, when you're learning and French, the different forms of respectful forms and non-respectful forms. These are things that you understand about the culture when you study that language. And that's why I think you should study another language, because it gives you a different way of looking at life, a different way of seeing other people's values. When you're studying Arabic, there's a strong influence by religion, so you see how they view God and so on. That's why I think you should study a different language. All right. Now, all of us believe we should study a different language. Of course, we're all here in Verbling. Let's move on to the next point. I think it's Asma. Can you please read the private statement I sent you? Tell us your opinion, and then we will talk about that.
Okay. In the future, there won't be so many different languages in the world.
Okay. Can you read it one more time? Can you read it again?
Means a little.
Well, just read it again. Just read this statement exactly as it is.
Okay. In the future, there will not be so many different languages in the world.
Okay. Well, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree, disagree, and what are your opinions?
Actually, we talk about the how it is important to learn language. So how can I answer? Means I agree that it's very important to learn languages, and I don't know, it's real for.
Sorry, Asma. So your statement was, in the future there won't be so many different languages in the world. Do you?
Means, for example,
I mean, because that's not an opinion. That's just a statement. Do you agree with that statement?
Okay, teacher. Let me understand. Check if I really understand well this statement. Means so many different languages in the world. Like, for example, just all people will talk, for example, English.
Okay, so now I cannot remember how many languages I should have studied. Like, couple, I would assume a couple hundred languages. So in the future, there are going to be fewer languages. Like some languages are going to die out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
what are your
because
thoughts or what are your opinions on that?
yeah, I agree because now, for example, I'm obliged to isn't my choice, and I don't know if my colleagues speak about that or not. We are not um, in a free situation to choose or not to learn one language or two languages because the market, the job needs, the norm has been changed to find a job. There are a lot of criteria, so that's why, for example, now I learn English because I'm aware that really it's very important to learn English because means any job ask me about, do you know English? Do you know very well writing, communication? So they didn't ask me a lot about French, for example, you know. So especially when I live here in the Middle East, they are means when I left Tunisia, then I am aware that French. What can I do by the French here? You know, here all people or in the Middle East, they are related, or all jobs need that the employee have to speak English. I don't know if I explain my opinion or not.
I I think I understand in saying that now English is necessary when going into the
Yeah,
job market.
why? Because America uh,
Why?
is
Because
very
America. That is a simple answer for every problem. Why? Because America.
yeah, it's very strong, and the globalization, the trade, everything. There are a lot of relation with America in trade, in education, in anything, So that's why I have to learn English and like to give the language the priority uh, in my language speaks, I say.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, any other opinions or not even opinions, just thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? Thank you for sharing, Asma.
I think that the sentence is true. I think that in the future um, that uh, that will be, but I don't like. I
Hmm.
wouldn't like because um, just like you, I think that it's more important that we have another way to say and another cultures. And for example, in Mexico, we have a lot of uh, dialects, and all the the original people in Mexico, the original languages in Mexico are uh, are so great because they explain the nature, for example, in the other way. So I don't like that that this uh, that does that dialect uh, extinct. Yes,
You don't like that it was a different language, right? It wasn't a dialect, it was a different language.
Yes. Mhm.
You don't like that that different language became extinct.
Eh, yes.
And it was a language that was based around nature.
Yes, because they in that languages they um, use the nature in another way, in another point of view, and just is one example. No? They have a different kind of sounds, a different kind of um, uses. So I think that it becomes a rich culture, um, and a wonderful things to know. So if they if those things uh, become extinct, so we lost that things. No?
Okay. Okay. And any other thoughts before we're probably going to move on to one or two more sub questions before. But any other thoughts on this before we move on?
Sure. I think the language maybe extinct or other situation can be success is the some language will fusion it, but for this situation is necessary centuries. The historical process we showed these these cases. Um, some language join and others disappear.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't get the first part. I understand some languages come together, or some languages have come together and some have disappeared. Would you say before that?
Some I think some languages will fusion.
Will finish, will become extinct.
No, fusion.
Will fuse, will fuse.
Yeah, fuse. Yeah, fuse because the common practice across the years transformed or became one language of from two different or semejantes or different language like Spanish or the Latin language maybe will fusion in the future.
Will
Uh,
fuse, will fuse.
fuse
Hmm.
like Italian and Spanish maybe.
Hmm. I mean, well, that's what English is. English is a mix of everything. That's how we got our language.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let if nobody else has to share, we'll go on. Julio, please read the message I sent to you and tell us your
Um,
opinion on that.
I'm really, really sorry, teacher, but I'm
You
using
can
my
say it?
iPad right now and I
Ah,
don't have the chat box.
no worries, no worries. Okay. We'll go on. Um, Let me see this to a Maori.
What, teacher?
Can you read the private message I sent to you?
Uh, you send a private message? I can see.
Okay, I sent it at the beginning of the class. No? Okay.
Ah, oh, let me see.
No worries. I'll send it. I'll send it.
Let me see. Oh, yes. Life would be easier if we. Oh my gosh. Okay, I can see
All right.
again. Life would be easier if we all countries spoke the same language. Ah, um, I don't know. A lot of people. I don't know, teacher. I think a lot of
Tell me what
people.
you do know.
I don't know.
No, I know. I'm saying tell me what you do know. If you want some time to think about it, I can give you that.
For example, if we can talk the same language, we don't have any challenge to try new different things. I don't know. The culture could be very similar to. Um, I think to have different language and you can try different one could be better than if a lot of people spoke the same one. I don't know.
So, what is your thought? I didn't get the full idea.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I
no, no
think
worries.
to yeah, I think to speak different language in different countries, it's good because you can preserve
Hmm.
your culture.
Okay.
This is my thoughts.
Something similar to what Asma is saying. Something similar to what Asma is
Yeah.
saying. Mizael and Andre, I would love to hear your ideas on this comment.
Well, I think for sure would be easier because the communication should be much easier because we would not have any threats to our communication. But it would be terrible because you would kill all cultures, as you
Kill all
talked,
cultures. Sorry, continue.
as you said in the beginning, like the language is directly linked to the culture. So uh, it would not be good to the countries, the cultures, and the the identity of people, of different people. So mm, mm, this point, I would not think it could be it could be good for the world.
So life would be easier, but it would not be good.
Yes.
Okay. There would be no saudade, right?
Yes.
Andre, what are your thoughts?
I think is the the reason I see and uh, because is everyone spoke the same language, then the culture will be lost. I think it's not good because you will be lost in culture. I think so.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I hear the common theme. We're all going to lose our culture if we all learn the same language. Um, Now, we at the beginning of class we said everybody should learn at least two languages. Everybody should try to be bilingual. What if you held on to language, but everybody learned another common language? Life would be easier if all countries spoke one common language and had their own language. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that ain't gonna happen.
You think it's not going to happen?
Well, I said that ain't gonna happen. Why? Because
It ain't going to
uh,
happen?
yeah,
Yeah,
it
so you
ain't
think
gonna
it's not going
happen.
to happen, right? I just, go on.
Okay, so uh, why do we have different languages? Yes, because we live in different parts of the globe. But why in the United States that everybody speaks English, you have like sub languages.
Everybody,
You
okay.
have like Hispanics, and you have like other types of languages inside the English language. So why is this phenomenon? Because people want to be different. People want to add their own cultural aspect to the language, right? So I think that if everybody spoke the same language, maybe 100 years or a couple hundred years later, you will have five or six or seven different languages because people want to print their own culture into their language every day. So that's what I've heard, like Ebonics, and for me it's like a complete different language.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the way they conjugate and they use different verbs and contractions is just like completely different. Like I was saying the other day, like saying like, "Man, is you crazy or what? Is you crazy?" And everybody was like talking like that. I mean, we know it's grammatically incorrect, but they are using it so often that it becomes perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
He be nuts and stuff like
So,
that.
so what if? Well, I mean, but most of those people, there's something they call code switching. Same way as you can speak Spanish, and then they switch over into proper English. They can speak Ebonics one way, and then they'll switch over into proper English when necessary.
Well, I some of them. I'm
Some
not.
of them, yeah, yeah, some of them,
I
just
don't
like
think most of.
some Spanish speakers can switch into English, some Spanish
But,
speakers can't. Some people
but
who speak Ebonics can't switch into proper English. You're right.
if you let that phenomenon run a few hundred years, then I'm pretty sure you're gonna start creating a new language. And I was actually reading a study the other day. Who creates a language? And you know who creates a language? Kids, children.
Hmm.
Children are the one that take the grammatical structures and fuse them with different structures, and they develop a brand new language.
Hmm.
That's how language were born. So I do think that it is impossible to have just one language. And if you have just one, people would try really hard to create new languages to differentiate themselves from other people. That's part of our species, being different.
Being different.
We
I
want to make
think
groups.
I think, and this is to Andre and also to Julio. I think actually in the future with globalization and how it's happening and the flow of information, because information is going so quickly, and as Julio said, the technology of having instantaneous translation. I think eventually the time is going to come when there is one common language. We do speak other languages, but there's going to be one common language. And in that common language, we're going to reflect our history and our heritage. Everything will not translate perfectly, but there will be some translation for that into this common language. And that's just because we have, look at what we have now. People would have never thought I can speak to 10 different people from 10 different countries at the same time. But that's the technology we have now. I think the technology is going to come with instantaneous translation into a primary language.
Machine learning.
Pardon?
Machine learning is this technology.
Machine learning?
Yes.
I don't know if I'd call it machine learning. I mean, the machine is just another tool, just like how we have pencils, just how we have books. It's just another tool. And soon this tool is going to be the computer that processes and thinks much quicker than our actual brain.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to end the class soon or now,
Yeah.
but I'm going to ask if there are any thoughts or comments. Go, Asma.
Yeah, just teacher, just I want to come back about what I spoke about French people means I don't
French
like
people.
that French people, yeah, be angry from me. For sure, there are a lot of French people who mastered their mother language and they did well with their dictation. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
We don't want a whole country mad at you. Yes.
Yeah. And to not give me the visa.
Is your husband from France?
Yeah. In my next vacation. I love you all, French people.
Okay, all right. Does your husband speak French very well?
No, even he studied, but he said that French is for women, not for men. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There was a
Because
question.
it's very soft, you know. Because when we speak French, it's like soft. And he said, no, I don't like to speak French. It's much. it's much more women, more than men. His opinion.
Yeah. And well, there's someone agreed. That's interesting. That is interesting. All right, guys. Um, I do not know when my next, not I don't know when my next class is, but it's going to be for a while because I'll be on the road traveling. I'm going to stay for about a few more minutes, and we can continue the conversation or talk about anything you want. But I want to thank you all for coming now. I know it is very late where you are, for all of you, but thank you for being here. There are no other classes on Verbling after this, so if you want to stay or if you want to go to sleep, it is your choice. It's always your choice. But thank you guys for coming, all right?
Thank you, teacher.
Thanks,
See you.
teacher. Take care.
Great day.
Bye, guys.
Thank you,
See you,
teacher.
Bye.
Auntie.
Good class.